Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is all about boosting your confidence. And that's it. We're just boosting your confidence today. I'm really excited about it. And as always, before we get into the group selection, I am going to do a little brief centering exercise. So if you'd like to get into a little bit of a meditative state, get in touch with your intuition, center yourself, stick around for that. If not, you could skip ahead to the group selection or to whatever group you want to pick if you know that already. So timestamps are in the description and the pinned comment. Go ahead and do that. If you're sticking around, let's get into the centering exercise. Okay, so if you are joining me for this, thank you. Please don't be in the middle of doing anything you need to pay attention to. So if you are, or if you're driving or anything like that, you definitely want to skip this. But if you can, please feel free to get into a comfortable seat or a comfortable lying down position, or just get relaxed in whatever way feels right to you. And bring your attention to your breathing. And if you feel called to, you might also allow your eyes to close and just melt into the surface that you are resting on. Just with each exhale, just imagine that you're melting even more into the surface you're resting on, feeling really supported, feeling the earth underneath you, whether that's through your couch or bed or chair, floor, whatever. Just relax and know that whatever it is that's supporting you is sturdy and stable. And you may want to bring your attention to your heart center, the center of your chest, or your heart even itself, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And as you do so, you may imagine that you are inhaling and exhaling through your heart space. This just really helps you connect more with your heart space, help you connect more with the part of your heart that plays an integral role in, well, your health and in also your decision making. You've got a lot of neurons in your heart as well as your brain and your gut. I hear a lot about the heart gut brain connection. So just imagine that with every intentional breath you're taking, you are serving to forge a deeper connection between your heart and your brain and every part of you, bringing your whole self online and engaging your entire system so that you can be more thoroughly in touch with your intuition and with who you truly are. So just keep focusing on your breathing, getting in touch with whatever is actually happening within your heart and mind right now, and allowing it to be, and maybe even beginning to tap into a feeling of confidence, whether you're feeling it in your body or you're just thinking about the word confident, confidence, and getting images or words or thoughts that come to mind whenever you think of confidence. What does that feel like to you? What does that look like to you? Just let anything come up that needs to come up when you think of the word confidence. And notice what you're feeling. Notice if you can really embody that. If you notice yourself sit up a little bit straighter, if you're sitting, or if you notice yourself relax a little bit more into your body, or if you notice any resistance, just let it be there, but just notice it. And if you want to, we can set the intention together to tap into this feeling of confidence throughout the rest of our day. Whether you embody it now or not, just set the intention that it is a part of you. It is a natural part of your experience to be confident, and then let it go. And notice how it folds itself more and more into your life throughout the rest of the day, throughout the rest of the week, throughout the rest of your life. Every single day, every single moment, you're just becoming more and more confident and connected with yourself. And set the intention that today's reading will serve to increase your confidence even more and help give you a boost, whether in life in general or in some specific area where you could use a confidence boost right now. And now you're ready to go into the rest of the reading, knowing that you will be able to discern the messages that are for you and leave anything that is not. Although in this case, please notice if you feel any resistance to taking on any positive or affirming messages, because that might just be your ego at play. And it's definitely my intention that you open up to accepting positive and affirming messages about yourself more so than you have before, because I know that sometimes we all struggle with that. So please be willing to accept good things about yourself. And with that, if you'd like to, you can pause this recording and continue meditating for a little longer, but if you're ready, then join me in the group selection. Okay, so thank you if you joined me for the centering exercise, or if not, doesn't matter, thank you for being here. I am going to go through the groups here, and I'm also going to just read off a little extra angel card that fell on the floor after I had shuffled up all of your cards, because I felt like that was probably a message for all of us. So first things first, I want to let you know that in this reading, I did select your cards ahead of time, so I could just put them all out once we get to your group and just get right into the messages. And that just felt like the right way to do this one, so that's how we're going to do it. And I do have 4 groups for you today. So we have this rose quartz for group 1. This, what is this again? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. I forget what it's called. Oh, a blue opalite, I believe. Yeah, blue opalite for group 2. We have this clear quartz crystal for group 3. And then we have this red stone with gold specks in it for group 4. And before you get into your individual group, if you'd like to stick around, I have an angel card to read for you guys as an extra message, as I said before. So if you're sticking around for that, let's just take a quick look and see what message it has for us. So this card says, Power. You are reminded that your essence is divine, so let no one diminish you. When you feel totally serene and at peace, you are powerful, for no one can upset or influence you. Your angel guidance is to find your still, quiet center, then heal your anger, purify your emotions, rely on your own judgment, and take your own decisions, or make your own decisions. It serves your spiritual growth to take responsibility for your life, so stand on your own feet and be strong. True power is based in inner strength, self-worth, and confidence. Claim your power today. Wow. And the affirmation is, I am serene, powerful, and confident. And I love that because, that is the theme for today, confidence. So it feels like this is the perfect card. Aside from if the word confidence came out, this is the perfect card for us to get. And a reminder that the word power can be loaded for a lot of us. It can bring to mind negative examples of power that we've seen in our lives, but this is a reminder of what true power looks like and what true power feels like more than anything. And so this is, I think, especially a reminder for those of us who might be nervous about stepping into confidence more deeply or stepping into our power more deeply because we fear that it could be a corrupting source, or we fear that with power we will turn into a person that we don't like, or that having power makes you a bad person, or maybe we have trouble even imagining what it would be like to feel empowered at times. This card is a reminder that power is something that we find within ourselves. It's not something that we exert over others forcefully. It's not something that we get through money or that we get through status, although those might take on certain forms of power, and that might be a symbol of power in some way in your life. And it's not to say that those things don't have any influence on your reality, that they do. But true power is less flashy. True power is a lot more based on internal feeling and something less tangible. And that's why it's harder to see, but it is something that you can experience when you're around a powerful aura, one that feels truly powerful without feeling threatening. You can take that on. You kind of know, like when you're in the presence of someone who's just really in their power, you can feel it, right? And it's not necessarily an intimidating feeling, although it might be if you're feeling particularly disempowered, but typically it's a much more subtle kind of experience than it would be if you're, in the room with someone who's flaunting their money or flaunting their status or trying to, kind of manipulate their way to the top. That's a really different kind of energy, and that's not what we're talking about here. We really are focusing on this peaceful inner calm that you feel when you are in your power and nothing can shake you, and it's not based on external circumstances conforming a certain way to what you need them to feel powerful. It's just based on a feeling within you that you've cultivated and grown. And there's lots of different ways to come to that feeling. There's lots of different ways to experience that in your life. And so whatever that means to you, let yourself set the intention, just as we did in the centering exercise, to step more into your power and to also find out what that feels like to you and what that means to you. So if that sounds good, then you might want to also take this affirmation. I am serene, powerful, and confident. And even screenshot this if you want to revisit this message later. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. It's hard for me to see, honestly, because the card is like, if I move it over here, I can see that there's not too much of a glare on it. So yeah, if you want to screenshot that, go for it. But yeah, that's it. So we're going to get into your actual reading now. So if you want to go down to the timestamps, pick your group, and get into your individual reading, I will see you over there. Hi, Group 1. If you selected the Rose Quartz Crystal, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading, which is all about giving you a confidence boost. And I am so excited to get right into your message because we already pre-selected your cards. So I'm going to just flip them over one by one, and we're going to see what messages you need to hear right now to help you feel more confident. So we've got a couple tarot cards first. So for your first tarot card, we have the Genius, which is the same number as the Hermit in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. This is the Shadowhunter Chronicles tarot deck. And then we have the Devil. We have a Moonology card for you, which is Have Faith in Your Dreams, Waxing Crescent Moon. We have an Astro Oracle card for you, which is Transits, Climate. Let's see, yeah, that fits in the frame. All right, excellent. And then we have two angel cards for you. So we have Commitment and Flexibility. So I actually had intended for the angel cards here to represent traits that are like your best asset at this time. Basically, like what traits do you embody? What traits are you strong in that are going to be your best allies during this time to help you feel more confident? And of course, this can be in general in life, or it can also be centered around if you have a specific goal or situation that you are pursuing, that you're seeking more confidence in. That can also be guidance for you in terms of how to approach those goals or approach that situation in a way that will help you feel more confident in yourself and also just help things go more smoothly. So, all right, let's get into this. First of all, I love that we have the Genius here as your tarot card, as one of your tarot cards, because, I mean, maybe that's what some of you really need to hear right now, is that maybe it's hard for you to identify with the term genius. And if that's the case, I mean, listen, it's here, take it. But some of you also just might need the general reminder that you are intelligent, you are smart, and it's possible that you're currently working on some kind of goal or working in an environment, or maybe you're in school even, where you're questioning your intelligence, or your intelligence is being tested. It's an important part of maybe even your identity, or of whatever you're studying, or whatever career you're in. You're so intelligent. That's the first thing that Spirit wants you to know, that your higher self, your guides want you to know. The universe wants you to know you are a genius. And I just heard you were made this way. So maybe for some of you, you were just like born smart. Maybe for some of you, you've always kind of had like a knack for like something like a musical or mathematical or scientific or whatever, what have you. Maybe you were really good in school, and maybe you're just needing to claim that, to like, because sometimes when you're really intelligent, really smart, really good at things, you can either like get easily bored in the context that you're in and not really find anything challenging enough, or sometimes you can dull yourself down because you feel like other people might be jealous of you, or you feel kind of maybe you're picked on or bullied, like in school, for example. Sometimes that could be an experience that you might have had. And if that's the case, you're needing to reclaim your knowledge of your genius. You're here to reclaim your pride in your intelligence, and you're here to acknowledge that that is an important tool that you need to use in your day-to-day life and in whatever goals that you're pursuing. For others of you where you might not have actually felt encouraged in school, in traditional learning settings, where you might not have felt very smart, where you might not have felt like you were book smart, or you weren't a great test taker, or whatever it is, if you didn't feel like you were encouraged in your intelligence when you were growing up, if you didn't feel smart growing up, you are here to reclaim the idea that you actually are intelligent, that your intelligence might take a different form than others might expect from you. There's so many different ways of being smart. Everyone has their gifts. Everyone has the things that they are more attuned to and more built for. And also, just because you aren't immediately good at something, just because you're not immediately a genius at something, does not mean that you can't build that. And that's really important. So no matter whether you feel like you have some gifts that you maybe like were hiding or not really willing to embrace, and now you're stepping more into claiming that for yourself, or you feel like you have built, your own knowledge base, you've built your genius, you've built your sense of self-worth, you've built your own like way of doing things that works for you, that brings out the genius that is within you. Like, it's time for you to claim that. It's time for you to accept that no matter who you were in the past, no matter what people thought of you and specifically your intelligence in the past, you can claim a new identity, or you can reclaim an old identity that you maybe didn't feel worthy of at one time or felt like you couldn't embrace. It's time for you to embrace your genius in whatever way it shows up in your life. And it doesn't matter what storyline you identify more with, or what archetype you identify more with. The genius is one of your archetypes. Right now, that is being highlighted for you. And along with that, having faith in your dreams with the waxing crescent moon. I mean, I was really happy when I saw that card come out, because of course, what's going to instill more confidence than a card that's telling you that, yes, it is indeed safe for you to have faith in your dreams. And in fact, it's required. I just heard it's required. Having faith in your dreams is a requirement right now. And faith doesn't mean that every single second you're just like, oh yeah, like I feel so good about this. Like, you might, but sometimes it's just having faith. Having faith is just continuing on in your life, in a process, in something before it's shown you its value, right? So another thing with the Genius card is actually a lot of you might be in something, or in life in general, you might be like way ahead of the curve. I'm getting the song by Taylor Swift, This Is Me Trying, where she says, I was so ahead of the curve that the curve became a sphere, fell behind all my classmates, and I ended up here. Yeah, so for some of you, you're like so far ahead of the curve that you might appear to be behind others in some way. And this is boosting your confidence and saying, no, that's exactly where you're meant to be. And in some way, you are actually ahead of the curve. It just might take some time for the rest of the world to catch up. It might take some time for other people to see that value. And it might take some time for even you to see that value. But while you're here, know that you're on the right path, you're on the right track, and your dreams do have merit and value, and it doesn't have to show itself immediately. And that's why having faith in your dreams is important, because having faith in yourself is important, because you might not have completely come out of your cocoon yet, so to speak, but you went in there a lot sooner than everyone else around you, and that's why you might be feeling a little bit out of place with where you are in your life compared to people around you. And it's not to say, oh, you're better than anyone or this or that. It's more like for where you're going and for where you need to be and where you want to be in your life, you are exactly where you need to be. And in fact, you're even ahead of where you need to be. And it just might not look that way. And it's really like sometimes, like if someone is like a really great inventor, right? They might have all these ideas that no one else really believes in because they're like, yeah, that's possible. And they can't really see how what the inventor wants to create is actually going to come to fruition. And that person who's really intuitive and inventive and like really interested in, it's giving Aquarius. It's also giving Virgo with the Hermit. So very intelligent, like knowledge, know-how, and analytical thinking, very important here. But it's like the idea that other people might dismiss this person's inventions and ideas because they've never seen or heard of anything like it before, so they don't have proof of concept. But the individual who's doing the inventing doesn't need the proof of concept. They create the proof of concept, and in order to create the proof of concept, they have to have faith, and they just keep going at it, no matter if they have a bunch of explosions and things go wrong. They just keep going, you know? They know that there's merit in their idea, and it's not about it coming out fully formed and perfect on the first try. It's about the value of the process of creation, the value of the process of something coming to life, and the things that you learn in that process. And so that might be the process that you're in. And again, you might not get a lot of validation from the outside because that process is still unfolding, but you know your genius. And if you don't, the universe is telling you, we know you're a genius. Get on board, right? And so yeah, like you're that like mad scientist type, no matter what it is that you're actually doing with your life. It doesn't even have to be in such a concrete way as you are actually inventing something or you're actually like working on some kind of project. For some of you, it might be you might be some kind of artist or something like that, and you're like really avant-garde, or you're just doing something that's like really outside of the norm of like whatever space that you're in. Keep going. That's the role you're meant to fulfill. You're meant to push things forward. Now, with the Devil over here, that one, so there's a couple things that are coming through. First of all, the Devil can be a card about attachment, sometimes about addiction, about things that might keep us trapped or stuck. If that's resonating with you in some way where you're feeling maybe a little bit stuck, that could be related to the message that I was getting about being so ahead of the curve that you kind of feel like you've fallen behind. So there might be an element where you're feeling a little bit trapped right now, but you're not. And the message that I just said about how you're kind of just ahead of the game, like you just got to keep going, that applies. But also there might be an element here of having fun, having like more fun with the process. Enjoying even, like, indulging a little bit in, okay, this is an interesting message. I'm almost getting the vibe of, like, take this if it resonates, but the universe is, like, giving you a little bit of a nudge to indulge in a bit of a superiority complex for, like, the moment. And that, I don't get that, not in the sense where you're meant to go full tilt into like, well, I'm just better than everyone else, I guess. Because, right, like, if you go to one extreme, the other extreme is always lurking right around the corner, right? So if you're, like, in a superiority complex, like, the inferiority side of that, like, if you feel yourself going from one extreme to the other, that's a cycle that you kind of want to break. You want to find balance. You want to be like, actually, maybe I'm just fine and everyone's just fine and like it's all fine, right? And not focus so much on validating yourself against other people, whether negatively or positively. However, there might be some balancing of the scales that's happening here, where shifting from the inferiority side of things to the superiority side of the things might be part of that balancing process. So if you've been really stuck in feeling just like worse than everyone, it might be okay. It might be time to shift your thinking the other way so that you can kind of like pull yourself out of that like inferiority side of the spectrum, feel better about yourself, and then it'll balance out. Like you'll get more balanced. You'll get a new perspective, maybe even on life, especially if you're used to seeing it in very black and white terms, in terms of like, oh, I'm either doing great or I'm doing terrible. I'm either the best or I'm the worst. There's a perspective outside of either extreme that is probably the most healthy for you. But while you're working through that, it's possible that indulging in a bit of, but maybe I'm just better than everyone, is actually going to be helpful for you. And it might also help you keep going in the path that you're on and help you have more faith in your dreams, because I feel like you're just not used to being on that side of the spectrum, really. And like a little healthy dose of I'm great and I know it is maybe called for here. And as I said, it's not about attaching your self-worth to either the value or the devaluing of others. That's not a healthy dynamic to be in by any means, and that's not where we want to stay. But again, there might just be like a balancing act that's happening right now. So like if you find yourself shifting a little bit more to the other side and feeling like, like maybe I'm actually like maybe I'm just better. Maybe I'm just different. That might help pull you out of like a rut where you might have been feeling the opposite for a little while. So keep that in mind, and also just keep in mind, that we're not going to get caught up in that, but also just let yourself feel good about yourself sometimes, Let yourself enjoy and indulge from time to time in a little egotism, and trust that you won't let it go too far, and you'll find your way to that healthy balance and that new perspective soon enough. Now, before I get into your cards, your angel cards, I want to talk about this astrology card with transits, number 55, and the keyword for transits is climate. So whether you know anything about astrology or not, the idea of transits is really just like, it's like when a planet is moving through a certain like house or sign in your chart, and it might be having some kind of influence on the energies happening for you at that time because of what the planet symbolizes, what the energy that's moving through symbolizes, what the house it's moving through symbolizes, that kind of thing. So if you know a lot about astrology, or if you follow that, or you like looking up your charts and your transits and everything, you might actually know if there's some transits going on for you that are impacting you in a specific way. But taken in general, transits is indicating to me that there are some things that are just happening outside of your control right now in your environment, in your life, that might be adding to your feeling of, oh, things aren't really working out, or your feeling of I might be falling behind, or I'm not sure if I can make this work. So if there's anything that's maybe happening outside of your control that's denting your confidence a little bit, or making you feel like you're unsure of yourself and you're unsure of your dreams, this is a passing thing, but it's also something that's outside of your control. It's not something that you're meant to control. It's more about how you respond to what's happening. So it's any unexpected circumstances that are coming up, anything that's happening in the broader societal world where you're just like, I don't know, this thing that's happening might work against me. It's not something that you as an individual need to feel bad about. So let me specify when I'm saying that. I know a lot of people in the like spiritual communities and who are really into like things like manifesting and stuff like that, or even just in life in general, can sometimes take on a lot of responsibility for the world that we see around us, in terms of feeling like, oh my God, like for some reason it's my fault that like there's world hunger. It's like my fault that like and I don't mean like necessarily consciously, like it's kind of might be on a subconscious level, but like it's my fault that like the political climate isn't working out, and I need to take that into account more when I'm working on my dreams. And oh, I didn't see that coming, I should have seen that coming, even if it's something that like, how could you have seen it coming, right? And especially if you're a very intuitive person and you generally do see things coming, right? This is a reminder to not put too much on yourself, not to take on responsibility too much for the things that are happening around you that seem to be getting in your way, that aren't aligning, and to rather take those as opportunities to shift focus, to pivot, or just to respond in the best possible way for you, in a way that allows for things to happen outside of your control, but also doesn't lead you to fall victim or feel like you're a victim of circumstance, right? Because that's the thing, is once you have a certain level of self-confidence, it's easier to pivot from the victimhood mentality of, oh my God, this thing happened, how could this have happened, I can't do anything now, there's no way, to one where you're like that mad scientist. Okay, well, like, how can I work with what I've got, right? How can I work with the circumstances that I'm in? What's the best I can do with the circumstances that I'm in? Like, really creative thinking, And that doesn't mean that you never feel, bad about anything. That doesn't mean that you never feel victimized, or that you never feel like life is unfair, this is unfair, that's unfair. But it's more like not getting stuck there. It's more like, after a certain amount of time, if you need to rage or grieve or get upset about something in the moment, you let yourself do that. You let that happen. You can accept your situation for what it is at that time. And then the way to move forward through that will come to you. You trust yourself to move through that. You trust yourself to get through it. You trust yourself to pick yourself back up again. Especially now, looking at the traits that will help you during this time: flexibility and commitment. Like, I love that those two came out together, because I feel like they're really complementary. Because on the one hand, commitment is like a really solid, like, okay, like, I'm sticking with whatever I'm doing, no matter what, I'm committed, I'm thinking of the marriage vows, in sickness and in health. I don't know what the rest of the marriage vows say, but like, it's the idea of making a commitment, right? But at the same time, having flexibility for your circumstances. So you're committed to your goals, you're committed to your dreams, but you're flexible in terms of how and when they come about. You're flexible in terms of the stuff that's happening around what you're doing, and the unexpected things that come up during the process. They won't throw you off for long, because you'll be able to roll with that. You'll be able to flow with that. It's kind of like, for me, I've been working on implementing a more steady schedule for myself. I feel like I work a little bit better when I have more of a structure in my life. And for a while I didn't have as much of a structure, and I was like, I just feel like I'd feel better if I did have more of a structure. So I've been working on implementing a schedule for myself. And so I kind of hit a point where I had a much better idea of what I wanted my schedule to look like and what felt good to me. And I was able to start implementing it. But still, things come up, things happen, stuff gets in the way of me getting to sleep at the same time every night, or stuff gets in the way of me always doing my routines at the same time. Now, I'm maintaining my commitment to my health and to my schedule as much as possible, but I'm also working on being flexible with the times when I can just let certain things go. Or I can, say, okay, if I have one day where I go to bed late because I was out, because I had this thing that came up, I'll still continue to work on getting my schedule back on track the next day. I won't completely screw up my plans. I won't just feel like, well, what's the point? I guess I'll just never, get on track with my schedule. No, I'm committed to that schedule, so I'll keep holding to it as much as possible, but I'll also allow for life to happen. I'll allow for things to come up. I'll allow for myself to have fun, but I'll also allow for myself to make decisions as wisely as possible in the moment, in terms of when is it time to say no to something and stick to my healthy schedule, and when is it time to just let go and just be like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll go out, I'll do this, I'll do that. And also, sometimes just unexpected things come up that are unavoidable, or that we don't want to have to deal with, but they do come up and we have to deal with them, right? And so can we have grace for those moments as well? And that's really what you're being encouraged to foster within yourself now, because I feel like these are two traits that, well, I asked for traits that are helping you right now, that are already within you. So I feel like you already are very good at commitment and flexibility. And knowing that, you can have faith in yourself to keep going. Again, keep going in whatever way is it applies to you. I do feel like with the devil here as well, that's Capricorn energy. You might have some pretty ambitious goals around money or career in general. And with Capricorn, it could even be like, well, it could be specifically your work. It could be also, because I feel like Capricorn, it's funny because like Capricorn is very like salt of the earth, like worker energy. It's very enterprising though, and I also see it as a very successful and success-oriented sign. So I do feel like in some way or another, you're hoping to be very successful. And I feel like you are well on your way to being very successful. It's really just a matter of remembering to stay committed to your vision, to stay flexible with the tides that are changing around you, and to also know that transits, anything that's like getting in the way, so to speak, or that seems like an obstacle, it's fleeting. It's not going to stick around. Things always change. It's going to shift. It's not going to be in your way forever. And there also might be creative ways that you can work with whatever's happening that you thought was getting in your way. And there also might be creative ways that you can work around whatever's happening that might be getting in your way. And being the genius that you are more than equipped to figure out what that is. So think of it as a fun challenge. Think of it as the universe giving you something, nothing that you can't figure out. There's nothing that you can't work with. And I'm getting a feeling of resourcefulness here. I'm getting a feeling of hard worker energy. Like you are a hard worker, whether you realize it or not. Like even if something might come easier to you, you're still willing to get down and do the dirty work, I just heard, when it comes down to it. So trust in that. And trust in that for those of you who things might be shifting in a way where your dreams might be shifting even, the things that you thought you wanted might be shifting, or the way that you thought you were going to get to what you wanted might be shifting. Trust that you can, that's like because you've opened up new doors for yourself, almost like by growing in whatever way that you have, by keeping on your path in whatever way you have opened up new doors for yourself. And so what might look like a surprise or something that's unexpected that you maybe weren't really looking for on your path, like, or what's looking like a pivot or a change of direction for you that for some of you I hear might feel like a failure because you felt like things had to happen in a certain way in order to succeed. It's like, no, you actually are succeeding so well that new doors have opened for you and you're ready to go through them and actually unlock an even higher level. So, take that as it resonates. That sounds pretty cool. So yeah, if you're being asked to pivot right now by the universe in some way, it's because you're actually just ready for something greater. And the part of you that might resist that might just not be, well, that part of you, we're here to assuage those fears, to boost your confidence, to say, hey, you have what it takes. Like, you wouldn't be given these opportunities if you weren't this freaking genius here. And if you didn't have these wonderful traits that will allow you to get through this, I just heard with ease. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to promise anything. That's kind of up to you, how you take your journey, but it might be easier than you think, to be honest. You might just have to trust yourself and go for it. But yeah, all good stuff. It looks like you are well on your way to achieving. I don't know what you're achieving. You might not even know what you're achieving, but you're definitely achieving. So we'll give you a hand for that. And I hope that resonated. That's all we've got for you today. So I hope you feel more confident in your dreams. I hope you feel more confident in yourself. You're a smart cookie. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. And also, if you're interested in a personal tarot reading, we offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, along with hypnosis and human design services. If you want to check those out, talk about getting a confidence boost, hypnosis is great for that. So feel free to check it out. And I hope you have a wonderful life. I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi Group 2, if you selected this blue opalite, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading, which is a confidence boost for you. So we're just gonna be talking you up right now, and I have already selected all of your cards, so I'm just gonna lay them out and then get right into your messages. So let's get started. First, we have this Shadowhunter Chronicles Tarot card, the Six of Runes in reverse. This is the Six of Cups in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. Then we have two more tarot cards, the Biddy Tarot cards. We have Death and the Hanged Man. All right. And we have two Moonology cards for you because you guys just got a bunch of like doubles. So you've got two Moonology cards. We have you're very close to achieving your goal and it's time to release negativity. And this is Gibbous Moon and this is Full Moon in Scorpio over here. So with the Death card and the Full Moon in Scorpio, lots of Scorpio energy happening in this group. And we also have an Astrological Oracle card with Uranus Change. And we have two Angel cards as well. We have Opportunity, I am ready for all opportunities. And we have Archangel Gabriel, I am pure and light. So, Group 2. First of all, it's likely that you are in the midst of some kind of transformation or change in your life. And this could be causing you to feel a little bit stuck or a little bit confused or unsure. I could definitely see where your confidence could take a hit during times of change in terms of feeling like you're questioning your life path or feeling like things are happening that are changing your perspective on life really quickly, and that might leave you questioning your past self and your past actions. And what's really being called for here in this confidence boost reading is we're asking you to let go of the past in order to move forward into this transformation that you're going through, because this is there's like a huge shift. I just turned on the horizon for you, but I also feel like most of you are actually going through it right now. And I actually feel like some of you might be feeling good and you're just being encouraged to just keep going because you had this, you're very close to achieving your goal card right now. But some of you might have actually felt like you recently had like a setback in confidence on the way to whatever you're looking to achieve in your life or whatever you're working on, or even just in life in general. And this is a reassurance that you are actually very close or closer than you think to the outcome or the life that you want. And this setback is just kind of like a last hump to get over in order to see the true like results of whatever has shifted in your life. And I want to say that even if that's not the case for you, even if you're not feeling like you've had a setback recently, this is a reminder that even no matter what kind of changes are happening in your life right now, no matter what kind of change that you're going through, things are changing and shifting for the better. It's time to release negativity. Honestly, if you have been feeling like you've been having difficulty feeling good about things or feeling good about the direction that you're headed in, or where, for example, like if you're in the midst of making a career change or something like that, you might be feeling a little bit hesitant or unsure of yourself because you're going to be entering a new environment that you're not used to being in, or if you just recently left a role, you might be unused to being in a state of like flux or stagnation, and this is something it's unfamiliar territory to you. So you might be feeling like, did I make the right move? Can I trust myself? And the answer is yes. The answer is things were meant to change. So if you are going through change right now, that is meant to be happening. Now, the fact that Archangel Gabriel came out with Opportunity, Archangel Gabriel, so I actually intended these angel cards here to be like, what are some traits that you embody that you are that can help you during this time? Like, what are some traits within yourself that you can nurture? But I got Archangel Gabriel and Opportunity, and those aren't really traits. So I feel like, first of all, if you feel called to call on like angelic help or guidance, if you're really connected with the idea of like spirit guides, angels, beings like that, Archangel Gabriel might be here to help you. or whatever guides or angels that you typically like to call on. Or even if you want to try that, if that's not something that you're used to doing, that could really help you during this time of change so you don't feel so alone going through it. But on this card as well with Archangel Gabriel, it is specifically about releasing old memories, ingrained habits, and mental patterns which lower your vibrations. And we also have it's time to release negativity here. And we also have the Six of Runes in reverse, which to me, the Six of Cups reversed is about releasing the past. So you might just be in a cycle of releasing the past that might be coming up right now as a resurgence or the perception of a resurgence in certain negative patterns, negative thinking, even things happening around you that feel like you're repeating certain things from the past. And this is letting you know that rather than shaking your confidence and making you feel like you're regressing in any way, this is actually a good sign of these things coming up to be released because you're ready to fully let them go. So with this, you're very close to achieving your goal here. Sometimes it's darkest before the dawn. Remember that. So you might be going through one of those moments where things look like they're getting worse, but you're actually just that close to being who you want to be or getting the thing that you want to get, being the person that you want to be. Whatever it is, it's almost like I'm getting the concept of like in manifestation culture, there's kind of like the idea of like the purge, right? The idea that like the old reality that you're letting go of tests you to let you see, to help you see if you're ready to let go of it before you actually get to see the new reality take hold. And it's kind of like you learning not to react to your old patterns. It's you learning not to react in the same way to the old stimuli that you used to react a certain way to. It's like every single time that something like that comes up for you, you have the opportunity to turn away from it, to react differently to it, to see yourself differently through the process of it happening and build those new neural pathways that allow you to accept a new version of your life and a new version of yourself into the 3D. I just feel like I said that really weird, but that's kind of how it came out. So I also feel like because we're boosting your confidence here, this is first of all reassurance that you're not backsliding. You're absolutely not. In fact, you're doing amazing. And this is just a testament to that, whatever is happening around you right now. But also your traits that are serving you is your ability to see opportunity in everything and your ability to lean on and believe in a higher power at this time. Those traits of yours can really help you keep the faith as you move forward and release this negativity. So your ability to recognize old patterns, your ability to see the things that you don't want and be like, okay, that's not what I want to react based on anymore. You're aware. I feel like you have that self-awareness. You have the knowledge of what you don't want, and you are good at seizing opportunities in the moment or even after the moment, right? Because sometimes you have a reaction to something immediately and then you realize, oh wait, like I don't want to, do that anymore. That's not who I am anymore. You can still change that narrative after the fact. You can still change that narrative of who you are by not dwelling on it, by letting it go, by realizing that your reaction to your reaction can also be different than what it used to be. You know what I mean? Everything is an opportunity. And I feel like you're really good at finding those opportunities, and you're really good at realizing and recognizing when you're creating a past story or when you're in a past story. And so using those gifts, using that self-awareness that you have, you are able to then release the negativity that is coming up, release it, let it go, and move on. Yeah, you're like really I feel like you're at the tail end of a major transformation. And with Uranus, so like death to me is a slow kind of change, and the Hanged Man is like a pause, right? So for you, it might, if you feel like you've been taking time out for yourself because you've been going through kind of a lot, whether internally or in life in general, that is, first of all, exactly where you need to be. Transformation, I feel like you've been going through like a transformation for a long time, a change for a long time. And so if your confidence has been shaken a lot lately, that's a natural part of the process. But again, not a sign that you're doing anything wrong. This is just kind of sometimes what it feels like to change. And with Uranus here, I do feel like there will be a shift that does happen that feels much more definitive in terms of like, you'll have your aha moment, or you'll have your moment where it's like, things have clicked. Like the change is complete, like the transformation is complete. You'll feel like you're on solid ground again, and that might come quite suddenly. But just know that the reason that it has felt like a process is because it's like almost everything leading up to that moment of change has been slow, and it needed to happen that way. I'm thinking of a quote. It's kind of, okay, I don't remember the exact wording of the quote, but the idea is that you don't always notice the 99 things that lead up to that one moment that makes you change, right? That one moment where you realize or recognize a change, or that one moment where you have that epiphany. It's like there were like a million things, like little things that all blended together to lead you to that moment. You don't always recognize in that moment what each of those little things are bringing to you and how they're leading you to that big moment of change. But just, it's safe to say that you've been going through that, like you've been exactly where you need to be, basically. And that mentality and mindset might also help boost your confidence as well, because the more that you remember that no matter if you're feeling really good or you're feeling not so good, or certain things are coming up, if you just blanket statement, I'm where I need to be, I'm doing what I need to do, this is what's meant to be happening, the easier it will be to let go of the things that are coming up, because you won't be so hard on yourself, like feeling like, oh, I should know this already, or I should have figured this out, or why is this coming up for me again? It's like, no, it's coming up because it's meant to, because you sometimes have a bit of a lag, I'm hearing, in terms of when you're making the decision to change and when you're implementing the steps, and then the moment when that change actually clicks, right? And so you've been experiencing that lag where you're ready for the next thing and you just have like a little bit of old programming left that is just sort of hanging in there, but you're in the process of releasing it. You're in the process of letting it all go. You are already doing that. So trust that, trust yourself, and just keep going. You are very close to achieving your goal. The reason that things might seem extra painful or difficult when you're noticing some of these old patterns coming up is because you're so ready that it feels so much more in contrast to who you are when you notice these patterns. And that is actually a good sign. It might not feel good, but it's actually a good sign. It's actually a positive growth. So you can feel good about that. And remember that. Remember that every time something like that comes up for you and you feel like you're like backsliding or falling back into old patterns, you're not. That's becoming such a big theme for you. It feels like it's getting worse because it's actually getting better, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I didn't do this for the other group, but I actually want to read what it says for Uranus in the Star Codes Astro Oracle book. So we're going to do that. Because I've just had this feeling that it might have some extra context that will be helpful for you. So let's take a look. So Uranus, change, number 25. Uranus acts like a cosmic clutch. It takes us out of one gear and, after some chaos, shifts us into a new one. Uranus is the modern co-ruler of Aquarius and takes 84 years to round the zodiac. Uranus was the first planet we discovered once the telescope broke the boundary of our known solar system and coincided with the Industrial Revolution, when many technical and cultural assumptions broke apart. It embodies difference and eccentricity as it rotates in the opposite direction of most other planets, and at an approximate right angle to them, with one pole pointing toward the sun. Yes. Okay, and that's the biggest thing, why I was feeling like some of you actually might not be feeling so confident right now, because that's when your old assumptions break apart, when you're going through a big change where certain things that you could rely on in the past or that you were used to in the past are no longer reliable for you, or you're changing so that you're not relying on those things anymore. It can feel bumpy, it can feel uncomfortable, and you can feel less confident because you feel like, oh, I'm not so assured in myself. But you're not so assured in yourself because the old things that you were assuming before are no longer resonating with you, and you don't want those things to be your reality. So you're feeling a little bit like, ooh, I don't know, I'm like out in space, like what's right, what's wrong, I don't know what's going on, right? But that's okay, that's part of the process. Trust the process, trust yourself. You are doing great. And I feel like the specific example that's coming through is sometimes if you might be used to a certain threshold of positivity versus negativity, where you become so used to a pattern of feeling, say, like depressed or feeling sad about something, feeling down, that you're not used to feeling at peace or content or even happy for that long. So your body doesn't have a huge threshold for that. So when you start to invite more peace and more happiness and contentment into your life, at first you have to adjust to that, because there's a certain point at which you'll hit the limit that you usually hit before, and you'll revert back to, okay, well, I can't feel happy for that long. Like I felt happy for like a minute. That's too long. My body's not used to that. I have to go back to negativity, because like that's what's safe, right? That's what's known. So like the positivity, it's more unknown to your system. Your system doesn't trust it, doesn't like it, because it's not used to it. It's not its default. But it's natural during that time to feel like, ooh, like that, like sometimes good things, sometimes the things that you want don't feel so good at first, because you're not used to them, because they're unknown territory to the part of you that wants to keep you safe and wants to stay in that known territory. That's why you might not feel so confident, but that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. That's what Uranus is teaching us, because you're out in the wilds right now. The wilds of your imagination, the wilds of what's possible for you, the wilds of like, ooh, maybe I could be happier. Maybe I could invite more peace into my life. And you don't know how to ground that fully, but it is grounding. It's just taking a little bit of time to get there. So, action. Surprise or be surprised. Be ready to shift gears. It's time to experiment and try a fresh approach or a new road entirely. If your life were a garden, now would be the time to scatter handfuls of diverse seeds, water them all, and see what grows robustly, and weed the rest later. Urgent anxiety can be a symptom of Uranian restlessness, so rather than just flailing about, look for the root cause and then ask what change would actually solve the problem. What looks like a disaster may bring wild opportunity. That's what I'm saying. And I just said you're in the wilds too. If you are thrown a sudden or shocking change, assume that you are being tossed out of the nest and into a potentially heroic journey. Chaos can be an important catalyst, an unnerving moment caught between forms. The discomfort allows and propels you to transform. Become your most authentic, eccentric self. You are just what is needed. Uranus also encourages technical upgrades and a cutting-edge approach, whether that means acquiring new equipment or new skills. The challenge is Uranus electrifies. It may feel like your finger is stuck in an electrical socket. You are anxious to change, but you can spin your wheels until you shift into the new gear. So I feel like you might be feeling like you've been spinning your wheels a bit in this negativity, but you're not stuck. You just got to shift gears and you'll be right as rain. And also I feel like, again, like this is happening for you. If anything, this group might just need encouragement to keep going. But if you do feel like there's any gears that you can shift, any change that you can make, I feel like you're being invited to experiment. And it doesn't and without worrying about what's right or what's wrong, just do something different. And call that a win. Just that one step that you've taken to try something different. Especially when you find yourself spinning your wheels. It doesn't matter what you do in response to that. It's just doing something different than what you've done before in response to that. And it could be as wild as like, I don't know, scribbling on a piece of paper, like drawing something, like doing something that you just, I don't know, don't normally do. I'll leave it to you to come up with the wild things that you do to divert yourself from your old negativity, but keep it healthy, keep it positive. The gift of Uranus is prepare for an evolutionary leap. Shocking circumstances can force you to engage gifts you didn't know you had and help you transform. You are not those external attributes in transformation. You will not dissolve. A caterpillar is still internally the same creature once it becomes a butterfly. Yeah. So you just need reassurance that if you feel like you're in a messy spot right now, if you've been dealing with a big change and transformation, this could have even been going on for a while. And if you've just felt like your whole universe has kind of been shaken up a lot lately, that is not a reflection of you doing anything wrong. That is not a reflection of you struggling to like I feel like you might feel like you're doing the wrong thing or you're not progressing fast enough. No, it's not that at all. You are right where you need to be. You are right on the cusp of seeing that, of understanding that, and of appreciating that. And every single thing that's happening right now is an opportunity for you to move into that new place that you've been wanting to move into. I feel like a lot of you might have even had an intention that you set, and whether you knew it or not, a lot of the events that are happening around you now are pointing you in the direction of becoming that person, of moving into that place. And yeah, you're doing fine. And you can lean on the universe. You can lean on, spiritual support if that's something that you feel called to do. That can help you at this time. But it's not about pushing yourself further. It's not about doing more. It's rather about responding to change one step at a time, one moment at a time, and trusting yourself and just continuing on your path. Just keep going. I feel like a lot of the transformation really has not been in your control, and you might have been hard on yourself for a lot of things that you felt like you should have had a better handle on. But it's not about that. And I think you will see that one day, but for now you just have to trust it. Yeah. But just rest assured, you are letting go of the past, you are releasing negativity, and you have the ability and the capability to make it through whatever change you're going through, and you are so close to whatever it is. I don't know what goal you're close to achieving, but you're so close. You're like right there. Ooh. Yeah. So feel really good about that. You got this. Awesome. All right. You are awesome. I love you. I just felt like I needed to say that. Maybe you need to hear that, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like, comment, subscribe. That would be amazing. And if you are interested in a personal tarot reading, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, our website, linked in the description, as well as hypnosis and human design. Those are also tools that we offer to help people live the lives that they want to live. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Group 3, if you selected the clear quartz crystal, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading, which is all about giving you a confidence boost. So I've already selected all your cards, and I'm just going to lay them out and get right into the messages, so I hope you're ready to feel confident. So to start, we've got this tarot card from the Shadowhunter Tarot deck. It's the Creator, which is the same number as the World card. Then we have your Biddy Tarot card with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We have a couple of Moonology cards for you. We have The Energy is Gaining Momentum, Waxing Moon. And we have Conclusions Are Within Reach, Full Moon Eclipse, which makes a lot of sense with the Creator and the Creator/World card over here. Love that. We also have an astrology card for you with Retrograde Review. And I also got an angel card for you with Hope. I am eternally optimistic. Okay, so let's see, let's do it like this. There we go. Okay. All right, group 3. I am going to sit down for this one. I've been standing, but I feel a lot more of a grounded energy with this group, which is nice, but also could just be me feeling tired of standing. So it looks like group 3, you are almost done with something. You are almost clear on something. There is something that you are also creating. With the energy is gaining momentum, you might be a creator, like a content creator. You might be someone who is growing your platform or a business, and this is letting you know that the energy is gaining momentum. So whether you've seen an increase in attention or not, this is letting you know that that is happening. You are gaining momentum. Your business, your creation, your project is gaining momentum. And for some of you, you could be working on a project that has like a set ending, or like it might not have like a set ending date, but you might have been working on it for a while, and there could be certain things that you were working out, like either there were like problems that you needed to fix before it was done, or like if it's a work project, maybe there were some things that you have been figuring out that you weren't sure when you were going to get it done. Or if it's a creative project, maybe you weren't sure how you were going to end like the story, or how you were going to figure out a certain element of the project. And this is letting you know that the conclusions are within reach, basically. Like, you are well on your way to figuring it out. Don't worry. You can trust yourself. With the creator here, I mean, listen, I don't care like what you do specifically in your life, if for your job or just in your free time or just in general who you are a creative person, you are a creator. You are powerful. And I feel like you might be in the process of stepping into your power, of stepping into feeling like you have the ability to create your life the way you want it. And maybe for some of you, create a specific project the way that you want it. Because with the Page of Pentacles in reverse here, I almost feel like this card in reverse is saying that, like, juxtaposed with the Creator card, it's like you are done with limiting yourself. Like, you're bigger than this page, right? So to me, I mean, the Page of Pentacles can be a very, very positive card, but in this context, in reverse, I'm almost seeing this Page of Pentacles as someone who might not believe in themselves or their ability to, like, create something for themselves, to stand on their own, to be their own person. I'm getting the specific situation of someone who feels like they are better as, like, a pawn in someone else's dream as opposed to the creator of their own dreams. And I feel like that's what we're releasing here with this Page of Pentacles. Like, you're not anyone's page. You are the creator. You are the boss. You are the one in charge. And that is the energy that you're either being encouraged to step into, or you're being congratulated on manifesting for yourself. You also might be into manifesting, with the creator and the world card here being like someone who actively feels powerful in creating their own life. But with retrograde here for your astrological card, I do feel like you might have kind of similar to group 2. The energies are different, but some of the messages are kind of similar. And if you watch them both, that will make more sense. But you might have recently felt like things were going backwards, or you were getting stuck, or you were having to retrace certain steps that you thought you already had, like, completed. Or you might be in the part of a process of creation where you are during you're in the revisionary. Revisionary? Is that even a word? You're in the revision stage. You're in the editing stage. Like, I'm getting the example. Sorry, I just kicked the table. I'm getting the example of someone who's writing a book, and they get the first draft done. Maybe they even have a second draft done. They're just going through and they're finishing up the final edits. I just heard final edits. So you might literally just be in the process of, like, a final review. And for others of you, you might even literally be, like, in the process of getting, like, a review at work, or someone else is reviewing your project. You could even be at the end of a cycle of school where you're reviewing for tests, or even you're going through exams and you're almost done. Like, you're almost done with that phase of life and you're ready to, like, move on to the next one. You're ready for something to be complete, but you have to go through a final review first. And this could also be less literal, in the sense that you could almost feel like you're reviewing some, like, internal, mental, emotional lessons that you thought you already had learned. But, like, with retrograde, it says it even in the Astro Oracle book, but retrogrades get a bad rep, but really all they are is a planet going appearing to go backwards through a sign or house or whatever, so that you can review and check up on, okay, did I actually learn the thing that I was supposed to have learned? Or am I actually past this phase that I was going through? Like, it's an opportunity to just check up on things, just to make sure that everything was covered. So I feel like either literally or more energetically, that's what you're going through right now. So you might not feel as powerful in the moment if you feel like, oh, okay, I'm, like, going through this review. I'm not sure if I'm, like, how well am I doing? Like, did I do well? And I'm hearing you pass with flying colors. So take that as it resonates. But yeah, like, I feel like you're doing great. There might be a little bit of a backtracking happening right now, but it's part of the process, whether literally in, like, terms of you're setting your setting something off for review, or you're studying, or you're editing, or whatever, or you're like just going through some old situations so that you can make sure that you learn the lesson of that situation and you're ready to just like complete that review. Once that review is over, basically, you're ready for the next chapter. And that next chapter is going to be one that you've created for yourself. And in fact, if you've been like, if this is a situation where you're like manifesting or creating something that you want, if you've journaled something out, if you've written something down, or employed any kind of techniques, visualizing, things like that, I feel like a lot of that is going to come true for you in the next chapter once this review is complete. And I did ask for the angel cards when I was selecting them. I did ask for a card that would embody a trait that you already embody, that you can hone and nurture, that will help you during this time to help you keep your confidence up. And I got hope for you guys. So hope indicates that the sun is about to come out in an area of your life. Yeah, conclusions are within reach. The energy is gaining momentum. Whatever this is, whether you've intentionally been like manifesting or not, you've created something that is about to pop off, or that is about to conclude in a way that's favorable for you, or conclude in a way that helps you start a new chapter that is of your own creation, that is of your vision. And so anything that feels like a setback right now, or anything that just feels like you're retreading old territory, it's literally just the last step before you see your vision come to fruition. So just keep up hope. Don't keep yourself small. Don't think, oh, I should have just, played it small. I should have played it safe. No, nothing like that. You are well on your way to a beautiful new vision coming true for you. And it looks amazing. I'm very excited for this. It almost feels like a less dramatic version of whatever group 2 is going through right now, in terms of, I felt like group 2 was going through kind of like a big transformation that might have felt a little bit heavy, and really like might have been such a big perspective shift and worldview shift that like they're also about to see the light, and things are also about to really click into place for them, but it might have felt like a really long and difficult journey. I feel like this is a little bit of a less dramatic energy, in the sense that you might be going through some of the similar things, but it might feel a little bit lighter. Like, I feel like you might not have gone through as heavy of a transformation, and the emphasis here is more on one of maintaining that the vision that you've been working towards is manifesting. Someone just sneezed. I don't know if that was... We have some landscapers here. That could have been one of them. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your reading, but I was just like, what was that? Yeah. So, like, I feel like I feel like you're really stepping into your power, and you're about to see some kind of evidence of that, and it's just a matter of, like, keep going, trust the energy is gaining momentum, conclusions are within reach. This last review is just, it's the last, I'm getting the phrase, it's the last calm before the storm, which doesn't really sound good, but I guess in this case, the storm is like all of your things, like, coming together, everything coming together, and creating like a satisfying conclusion for you and a satisfying new beginning, I guess. Yeah, that was a weird way to word that, but sure. And just like for the other group, I actually want to read the retrograde excerpt from the Oracle booklet. So I'm going to do that. So, retrograde review. Retrograde gets a bad rap, especially Mercury retrograde, but the retrograde cycle is truly a helpful and necessary time. It's nothing to worry about, just something to work with. A planet is in retrograde when it appears to reverse direction of its journey across the sky from our perspective here on Earth. As the planet revisits its path, you get to review your life. Action. Stop the normal patterns of your life and take a break. The roots of this issue are found in the past. Reconsider, revise, repair, and edit. What did I say? Dig in a drawer and find an old idea and bring it forth and rework it. Reconnect with old friends and previous contacts. Address some unfinished personal business. Look again and find lost items and missing information. A delay may be saving grace in this situation, so check equipment, read the fine print, and make sure that everyone is on the same page and it is safe to move forward. Yeah, so like literally or like energetically, that is what's happening right now. And that's exactly where you need to be. That's working with you to bring to fruition whatever it is that you're creating. It's not a sign that you stretched beyond your boundaries. It's not a sign that you've pushed too far in terms of what you want. And this creator card is all about expanding your idea of what's possible for you. And I feel like that's really where what you've been working towards. And you're about to really start to feel that click into place for you. Whether it's on a specific project or in life in general. This is an opportunity for a do-over. You don't need to get stuck in the past. If an old problem rears its head, rather than re-inscribing dysfunctional patterns, take a different approach. This is similar to group 2, honestly. Before you re-engage an old relationship, inventory your heart. Consider what needs to be different this time and make it work. Broach new territory together. If you feel called to put regular work aside and attend to a side agenda, a sole important short-term project that urgently needs every bit of wisdom you've garnered. Challenge. It's not a time, tempting though it may be, to reminisce, pick at old scars, or revisit a painful situation from your past just because you want the emotional charge of anger or an excuse to wallow in memories of betrayals and regrets. You've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and don't need to do it again. Gift. Take a deep breath. This is a moment out of the ordinary flow, an opportunity to use what you've worked so hard to learn. Use your accumulated skills, knowledge, and maturity. Slow and steady and thoughtful will win this race. Yes. Oh, and so the Page of Pentacles reverse could also be indicating that you might not quite have seen the physical, tangible. That's how you say it, right? I don't know why that word just like didn't sound like a word for a second. Yeah, you might not have seen the physical, tangible results of a lot of your work yet, but it's lurking there right under the surface, and it might feel like there's been a pause before things really get going, where you've kind of stepped out of an old mindset and into a new one, and you just have to give it that time to really show you the changes that you've made. But it is coming. And like I said, you might literally, there might be a retrograde literally happening right now. I think Mercury might still be in retrograde. So it's possible that after the retrograde ends, you'll be feeling better. Maybe I feel like there was a recent full moon eclipse. Was that the one in Virgo? Was that a full moon eclipse? Because that might have actually been a big one for you. That's still kind of impacting how you, I mean, if you're down with astrology and stuff, the recent full moon eclipse might have had some kind of impact in the background on your psyche in some way that's helping move this along. But also, I don't know if there's any upcoming full moon eclipses, but maybe the next full moon could be significant for you. And but yeah, in general, like, yeah, things are working out for you exactly how you want them to, and it's only a matter of time. So just keep hope, keep your head up, keep your optimism. I'm hearing there's no reason to not believe that everything that you have wanted is coming true. So if you have any doubts or thoughts, you can just dismiss them. You can just let them go, because you're creating your own life. You're doing a great job, and I think you've crossed a new threshold where you haven't fully seen the results of that yet, and you might not have fully experienced what the new world that you're creating for yourself has to offer, but you will soon. And I think that it also, for some of you, might start off slow, or like it might be like one thing at a time, where you're going to start seeing it and it's just going to build from there. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Okay. Yeah. So that's all I've got for you, group 3. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you feel more confident in yourself, because damn, like, you've got a lot of power here, and all you need is hope. Just keep going, right? So yeah, excellent. If you are interested in a personal tarot reading, please visit our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. If you want hypnosis or human design services as well, we do offer those, so you can check that out. And if you are interested, nope, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. That would be amazing. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, Group 4. If you selected this red stone with the gold specks in it, then you're in the right place. And this is your reading all about a confidence boost for you. We are boosting your confidence today, and I'm so excited about this. This has been really fun. I did pre-select all of your cards, so I'm just going to flip them over and get right into it if you're ready. So let's go. So first we have your Shadowhunter Chronicle Tarot card with the Nine of Steels, also known as the Nine of Wands. And we have another tarot card from the Biddy Tarot deck with the Emperor. We have a Moonology card for you with a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. We have two astrology oracle cards for you with the Sun, Source, and Mars, Motion. And then we also have two angel cards for you with Wisdom, I listen to my wisdom, and Faith. I have faith in the support of the universe. Wow. Okay. So first things first, I want to say major Aries vibes here. Not only with the Emperor and Mars, but I also did see Aries come up on the bottom of the deck after I shuffled the Astro Oracle cards for you guys. And so then having Mars and the Emperor come out, I was like, yeah, that's hella Aries. Plus your Group 4, the Emperor is number 4, 22 adds to 4, so 4 might be a big number. Hey, listen, I'm biased, but like, I'm a life path 4, I was born in April, I'm an Aries, so listen, if that's you, welcome. And even if that's not, even if that doesn't have any meaning for you, this could totally still be your group. I just want to give a shout out to any April born Aries or Aries in general who are in this reading, because at time of recording, happy birthday, we love it. Anyway, so boosting your confidence, no matter who you are, we're really feeling, we're feeling powerful here. So with the Emperor, I feel like the Emperor card right now is an embodiment of your potential. And the Nine of Steels or Nine of Wands here is an embodiment of your resilience. So I feel like a lot of you might have been through a kind of a long journey here. And there might be a lot of things that you've had to go through to get to a point in your life where you feel like you've got a solid foundation to work with. But I feel like what we're actually congratulating you right now on the foundation that you've created for yourself. And this could be a physical foundation in terms of money or success or something in a business, but it could also be just like an emotional, mental, spiritual foundation that you've created for yourself. Because I feel like you've had a lot of challenges that you've faced in the past that now you're coming into it, like now you're coming into your power because of it. Now you're kind of feeling like you are much more solid in yourself, in who you are, in your identity. And if you've been feeling that, if you've been on that journey, claim that, because that is your truth. That's really, like, you are either currently or on the cusp of tapping into your full potential and your full power. And it's so exciting. With full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution. I do feel like you are turning over a new leaf or stepping into a new chapter of yourself. So with this Nine of Wands, I feel like you've built a lot of resilience in the past. I feel like you might have been through a lot of difficulties or trials or just had a difficult time in the past that you're leaving behind now, because that all has been to build your foundation. Now you're ready to sit on your throne. Now you're ready to actually get cracking on the rest of your life. And it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been on this journey. I do feel like you are moving into an era of more confidence in yourself. You're looking back on the things that you've gone through and you've been through, and you're seeing the value, you're seeing the benefits that you've been able to reap from those situations, because I feel like you've been very resourceful, very resilient, and you have learned along your journey, and you've taken everything that you've experienced and you've been able to apply it to your life in a way that has helped you move forward, helped you benefit. And that doesn't mean that it's been easy. That doesn't mean that you always are happy with the things that have happened in your life, or that you always saw the value in the moment. But it's more like looking back, I feel like you're in a place where you can see, you can track your journey, you can see the experiences that you've had, and you're ready to let go of anything that would hold you back. You're ready to let go of anything that might have been difficult for you for a long time. For some of you as well, with this specific Nine of Wands, it could be related to a friendship, close friendship or close relationship in your life that ended, or that something went wrong in, or even just your relationship with friendships in general, with people who have been important in your life. Just knowing the backstory of the character on this card and what's happening in this card, there's a bit of mourning in that. So there could have been a time when you were sort of mourning a relationship, or just mourning like certain things that happened to you, which you're reaching the end of that cycle, I guess, of grief, that cycle of letting go. With this full moon in Cancer, that's coming to resolution, and you are now sitting on the foundations of the things that you learned from those situations, and also the way that you've built yourself up even through that hardship. Like, honestly, I feel like the grief and the negativity and the sadness and all those things are kind of cycling out of your life and just leaving you with the sturdy, like, part, like the part that you, and when I say it's leaving your life, like, it's not like you're forgetting, but it's like the feeling itself, the energy that might have been heavy or dragging you down, that might have just needed time to process through your system, like, that's being processed. So you're not forgetting anything. You're standing on the shoulders of what's come before you, but in a way that's supporting you to move forward. It's supporting you to shine your light more brightly and to take action. Down here with the Sun and Mars, the Sun, also Mars being the ruler of Aries and the Sun being the planet, like that, well, if you're, there might be a lot of Aries here is what I'm saying. I'm still on that, but even if you're not, thinking of like that energy of being passionate, being active, being direct, being self-assured, brave, right? I feel like these are all the traits that you've honed for yourself, consciously or not, and it's radiating out of you. You're ready to radiate. Like, I'm feeling like you're shining your light, and you might have gone through some difficulties so that your light, that have caused you to build up your light. I even heard for some of you, like, you might have this idea or this goal of being a light for other people, right? Of shining your light in a way that helps other people, whether through just like being yourself and being happy in your life and being satisfied with who you are and like sharing that energy with other people, or also through specific acts of service, specific things that you want to create with your life. And you are ready for that. You are that, you're ready for that. And you're also ready to take action and move forward on things that maybe for a long time you weren't able to move forward on because you had to go through some difficult emotional cycles. But you're done with that. You've gained a lot of wisdom, and you've gained the ability to have faith, which is not always easy. And I feel like for some of you, you might have gone through a crisis of faith and come out with it restored even stronger. And when I say that, I don't just mean religiously, although for some of you who are religious and identify with faith in that way, you might have had that experience. But for those of you who don't identify with like a specific religious belief, I mean, you could have gone through it with more non-secular spiritual beliefs, but also I feel like just faith in life, faith in yourself, just the concept of being able to trust in something that you can't see, being able to trust in something that you aren't experiencing in the moment. That's what faith is about. Like, faith is about, and I see that it's very associated with Aries too, in the sense of like innocence, right? Being like a forerunner, being someone who leads the pack because you have faith in something that you can't see, and you're willing to go for it. You're willing to grab it. You're willing to make it happen. And this reminds me of like when I was a child. So you might relate to this. When I was a smaller child, I always resented, or it just didn't resonate with me when people said, oh, well, you know, this sucks, but that's the way things are, when they were talking about something like, well, like, it's just the way things are, whatever, that'll never change. And I'm like, in my head, I was always like, well, not with that attitude, it won't. But if you change that attitude, then it will. Like, I always was very tapped into the idea that, like, the sky is the limit, or like, no, there's no limit. The limit is your imagination, right? And so I kind of resented when people would just be like, well, that's just the way things are, or I'll always be this way, or you'll always be that way. And it's like, no. And I've had to kind of balance that with allowing other people to live their own lives and just be who they are, with me also being like, okay, but like, just because someone else doesn't believe in that for themselves, or just because someone else doesn't believe in a better world, doesn't mean that I can't, and doesn't mean that I won't make that happen. And I feel like that is the gift that you've been given through your life, that you are really shining out into the world right now. And I'm here to validate that worldview. I'm here to validate that optimism. I'm here to validate that faith and be like, yes, hell yes, make it happen. And there's just such like a brightness and a positivity, but in this group, I feel like it does come from a past that was probably not so bright and positive at times. And I feel like you've just built on that for yourself. You didn't let anything go to waste, anything that you've experienced. And I feel like it doesn't matter what your actual physical circumstances are right now. It doesn't matter where you feel you're at in life. It doesn't matter what other people would say about where you're at in life or what you're doing with your life. For whatever it is that you as an individual are meant to do, for whatever it is that you as an individual want to be and are hoping for in your life, you are exactly where you need to be, and you are kind of set. Like, I feel like you're set. Like, I feel like almost, and I don't want to say this as in, oh, you'll never experience a difficult thing in your life ever again. It's not that. But I feel like you have created a solid foundation within yourself such that you are kind of set for life in terms of how you work through challenges in the future, how you deal with pain and difficulty, and how you deal with excitement and joy and the amount of like wonders that you're able to let into your life. Like, you're kind of golden on that front. Like, you've really built yourself up to a place where like you will never go through things like you went through in the past. Even if you do go through similar things, it won't feel the same. It won't be like it used to be. And I feel like if this is your group and you're meant to be here, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. And so I want you to take heart in that, because that is so exciting. And I want to add that I did pull these angel cards in with the intention of asking for traits that you embody and that you have right now that can help you through whatever you're focused on right now, if you have a specific goal or if you just need this in your life in general. And so wisdom and faith are two things that you already have a lot of. You already have a lot of wisdom. You already have a lot of faith. Own that, claim that, and also set the intention to use those as you move forward, and know that you have access to all this wisdom and you have access to the experience of faith. Not everyone has that. That's really incredible and valuable. Not everyone knows how to have faith in something that they can't see or can't touch, but that's how you get new things. That's how you create a new world. That's how you create a new life, is you have faith and you just keep going, right? And I feel like that is something that you have in spades, and just keep being you. Like with the sun and with Mars, keep being you, keep doing. You might, if you resonate with human design at all, you might have innocence motivation. And even if you don't know anything about that, it's basically just like, you're not really meant to be so much of a strategist in life, in terms of, you're more just meant to like be yourself and act based on your gut instinct in the moment, and not be so caught up in, oh, how do I get what I want? How do I do this? How do I do that? It's like, no, you're just being you, and the things that are meant for you come to you, and you act on them when you know it's for you. And I feel like you have that sense of self, that presence, and that ability to just act and to be confident enough to act in the moment that you can do it. I feel like, if anything, this group already knows. Like, I feel like you've already, even if you have bad days, we all do, right? You have a solid foundation of confidence already. This is affirming that for you. This is reaffirming this. I feel like you all know. You already know who you are and what you're about. And this is just confirming that, yes, That is true. Yes, claim your confidence. Yes, this is who you are. And yes, you are ready. If this feels like a new chapter for you, you are ready to be this person. You are this person. And anything that has been weighing you down from your past is or has reached resolution. And you're seeing it in a new light, and you're taking the wisdom and you're leaving the pain. And that is incredible. And that is something that is a gift that you can take with you throughout the rest of your life. Wow, so exciting. I love that for you. I feel like that's really the whole story here. I guess last thing I want to point out is that we have a 4 with the Emperor and a 4 with this 22 for Mars. And then over here we have the 9 of Wands, and we have 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. So we have 2 9s and 2 4s. I think that's really cool because it's like so mirrored. We have, yeah. So if you also think of this in terms of like past and future, it's like the I don't even know if I want to say it this way, but I guess I'll say it because it's coming through. It's like almost like the past will mirror your future in the sense of like everything that you feel like you lost and went through and was difficult in the past, in your future and in your ongoing life. It's almost like I'm getting the feeling of like you went through the underworld, you came out, and now you're like taking off into the sky, and it's kind of like the equivalent of what you went through under there. It will be the equivalent of what you experience up here, but like flipped, reversed, so the difficulties from the past, you've built on it in such a way that it will be your strengths of the future, if that makes sense. Whew, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, literally like you flipped the script in some way. This is big. I feel like this is, a lot of you here have gone through a big shift throughout your life. Wow. I'm getting like the visual of like folding, like if you folded your life from the past over, like your past and present like fold over one another. And it's almost like you're reliving your past in a more positive light, like all of the joy and the light and the wonderful things that you might not have always experienced back then is like transposed into your future, and you get to live from that place. I hope it's making sense. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. It's kind of, yeah. I feel like I probably explained it well enough before, but it's just such a, it feels so deep. And it feels like if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. But yeah, good stuff. Wow. Yeah, this is one hell of a confidence boost. I hope you feel good. And you can claim this for yourself because this is big. This is huge. This is great. I love it. And I feel like you do know this. I feel like you know this. And if you're unsure, just claim it. This is great. All right. Wow. So amazing. Congratulations on that. This was a really fun reading. I feel like I want to leave it there though, because I feel like we covered it. So yeah, congratulations on being awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want. That would be amazing. And if you are interested in a personal tarot reading, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. And we also do hypnosis and human design as well. So that is also on offer if you're interested. And thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye.